Well, military turf war has exploded over setting up of a theatre command. The split came out in the open after Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat told India today that the Indian Air Force is a support arm of the military. However, Indian Air Force Chief has expressed his reservations over the statement of the Chief of Defence Staff and countered his claim.
Air Force is required to provide support to the ground forces. Do not forget that Air Force continues to remain a supporting arm.
It is not a supporting role alone. The air power has a huge role to play in any of the integrated battle area.
Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat has set the cat among pigeons.
And therefore, one of the commands...
Speaking exclusively to India today on the setting up of theatre commands and the Indian Air Force reservations, General Rawat said Indian Air Force is required to provide air support to ground forces.
Air Force continues to remain a supporting arm to the armed forces, just as the artillery supports or the engineer support the combatant arms in the army.
Okay.
They will be a supporting arm, but they have a charter. They have an air defense charter and supporting the ground forces in times of operations.
Air Chief Marshal Bhadauria, Chief of Air Staff, disagreed with the Chief of Defence Staff on IAF being like a support arm of the army.
It's not an issue of support alone, and there is a whole lot of things that go into any airplane that is made, and those are the issues that is under discussion.
The Indian Air Force insists it supports the theatre command, but has strong reservations about splitting up its assets.
We are for establishing of integrated theatre command, but what the issues that we have raised are in our internal discussions, and it is to do with how should we do it. And whenever we have a system which is integrated, we must look at that entire, the doctrine and the abilities of the services must be brought in.
However, General Rawat countered the argument, saying assets of the Indian Air Force were split among various air commands even now. The government is moving forward with the setting up of theatre commands, but battle lines clearly remain drawn even internally, and the process remains fraught with challenges. With Shivarur